Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gomansing, topping our newscast. Last week, in the middle of carnival festivities, many government employees began to see the promised raises from the government reflected in their paychecks. On Tuesday, Governor Kenneth Mapp revealed the next batch of government agencies that will see fatter paychecks and when they can expect to see those raises. News 2's April Knight has more.
Another batch of government employees are being given pay increases. Governor Kenneth Mapp made the announcement on Tuesday in a press conference on St. Croix. Governor Mapp signed Bill number 31-0320, which will grant increases to the following departments: the Bureau of Corrections, the Bureau of Internal Revenue, the Department of Personnel, the Office of the Lieutenant Governor, the Fire Services, Human Services, Licensing and Consumer Affairs, the Police Department, and the Department of Education.
The departments that will be immediately affected by the signature of the bill this morning, that we expect these employees to see their pay raises on their paycheck of May 26, will be the Bureau of Internal Revenue, the Virgin Islands Fire Service, the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs, the Department of Tourism, the Department of Finance, and the Division of Personnel.
On the following paycheck, June 9th, employees will also see retroactive pay back to January 2016.
This morning, I have directed the Director of the Division of Personnel, Director Milton Potter, to begin with the implementation of salary increases for public employees.
The governor said his administration is committed to making sure all government employees see raises. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Now, the governor also discussed other topics during that press conference, including carnival expenses and a proposed new school calendar. We will have more on that press conference in a later newscast. The Department of Labor published some labor data recently, namely the 2015 Occupational Employment Statistics. Here are some of the details in that extensive report. In 2015, the average hourly wage was $16.85, and the annual mean salary was $35,050. At the percentile wage estimates, the annual average wage was $27,750, and the average hourly wage is $13.34. Occupations with the highest employment count in the survey were office and administrative, with an annual average salary of $27,050, sales-related occupations at $20,740, and food preparation at $19,960, respectively. Additional data can be accessed at www.vidolviews.org. The St. Thomas Democratic District Committee is hosting a general meeting on Thursday, May 5th, 2016, 6 p.m. at Victor's new hideout. That meeting is entitled Democratic Women in Power, and the featured speakers are Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett and Senator Jeanette Millen-Young. Following the meeting, there will be an old school party fundraiser for the upcoming presidential caucus. As we reported, Governor Kenneth Mapp approved some bills recently, but he also line item vetoed a section of Bill 31-0224, which prohibits the purchase of ceremonial vehicles for the offices of the governor and the lieutenant governor. According to the governor, that section contradicts other sections of the bill. The Senate has the option to override the governor's veto once the bills get sent back to the Senate. Meanwhile, tensions continue between the administration and a couple of labor unions. Some police officers revealed that they are also being asked to give up some monies owed to them by the government. Governor Mapp responded aggressively on Tuesday, saying employees who protested by not going to work acted irresponsibly. News 2's April Knight has details.
The government and the unions don't seem to be meeting eye to eye. Not only do their stands differ on issues, they don't seem to be agreeing on what those issues are. On Juve Day, many police officers called in sick, and according to the Policemen's Benevolent Association, it's from the long, grueling carnival hours. But another issue that didn't help matters was the government's attempt to get this police union to give up retroactive pay as they negotiate new contracts.
Said they didn't have any money to pay retros from 2007 up until 2011 for the officers. and to give up our retro for 1 year of salary, which they owe us 6 years of salary of increases.
According to PBA attorney Nazar Daywood, the same document with retro waiving provisions, which was given to the teachers' unions, were also given to the PBA. But it's the issue of retro that's at the center of certain actions taken by groups of employees, not just by police officers on Juve Day, but also by teachers a few weeks ago. On Tuesday, Governor Mapp fired back, asking where was this courage during the previous administration, when 8% cuts were instituted and more than 1,000 government employees were laid off.
We're committed to raising your pay, and now you have found all of the courage and all of the energy to act irresponsibly and to act in a manner that is not in the interest of the people of this territory. I will not join you in that behavior, nor will I reward you for it.
The governor did say he was backtracking and will attempt to communicate better because this seems to be a problem and hopefully reach an accord with the unions. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Negotiations are ongoing between the administration and the Policemen's Benevolent Association. We will keep you updated. Police continue to investigate a murder that occurred on Thursday, April 28th at roughly 1:26 a.m. The 911 emergency call center received a report of an unresponsive black male lying face down in between buildings 7 and 8 in the Curran Terrace housing community. Upon arrival to the scene, officers found an unresponsive male lying motionless in front of that building, and preliminary investigation revealed that the victim had sustained multiple gunshot wounds about the body. EMTs indicated that the victim showed no vital signs and pronounced him dead on the scene. The victim was later identified as 22-year-old Javon Benjamin of Estate Hope. The VIPD is presenting a community outreach. It began today, Tuesday, May 3rd, and it goes on until Monday, May 9th. The Aero Airs gymnastics team is on the island of St. Croix. The school outreach program will begin on Wednesday, May 4th at the St. Croix Educational High School. On May 7th, VIP will be hosting a community outreach program at Central High School Gymnasium at 7:30 p.m. They say all money collected at the door will be donated to the Queen Louise and the Herbert Grigg Home. Many schools will be participating, including Central High, Woodson, Claude Omarco, Free Will, Purby Lawson, Eulalie Rivera, Juanita Gardine, Arthur Richards, and Good Hope Country Day School. Well, as we reported, the first American cruise made its way to Cuba, but first came U.S. President Barack Obama and the Rolling Stones. Now, global fashion's glitterati, including supermodel Giselle Bundchen, are descending upon Cuba for Chanel's runway show extravaganza today. Chanel will be the first major fashion house to send models down the catwalk in Cuba, highlighting warming relations with the West. The exclusive show is also a reminder of new inequalities on the communist-ruled island. Karl Lagerfeld, who has been at Chanel's creative helm since 1983, has said his latest interseasonal cruise collection was inspired by the cultural richness and opening up of Cuba. Chanel fashion chief Bruno Pavlovsky said the label was uncertain at first if it could hold the show, but said Cuban authorities had been very welcoming and helpful. Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. And according to the numbers there, we can see everything down. The Dow 140, NASDAQ 54, S&P 500 also down at 18. Coming up on News 2, we have much more straight ahead. We'll be right back. Welcome back. WAPA line crews are working to restore electrical service to Christiansted Town after a portion of the underground circuits became compromised by the large volume of rainfall that has affected St. Croix over the last few days. WAPA says crews are out pumping out flooded manhole to determine if the extent of any damage to WAPA's underground infrastructure service will be restored as quickly as possible. Crews have also been dispatched to a number of areas where isolated service interruptions have been reported. They worked through the night and have been redeployed to areas including Estate Work and Rest, Williams Delight, Pellier, Anna's Hope, Paradise, Whim, Concordia, Mary's Fancy, Peter's Rest, and Grove Place. On Monday, service was restored to Estate Jolly Hill, Estate Rust Up Twist, and Industrial Park areas. Crews are assigned to Estate Work and Rest to replace the downed pole, Science Farm Commercial Center, where replacement equipment is needed to restore power, and to St. George Hill, where hardware on poles must be replaced to restore service. Crews have already been assigned to troubleshoot and restore power to Paradise Estate Whim, Concordia, Mary's Fancy, Peter's Rest, and Grove Place. Meanwhile, the Virgin Islands Water and Power Authority announces and apologizes in advance for a water service interruption for a portion of the St. Thomas, Altoona area on Wednesday, May 4th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Customers in the Altoona area from Banco Popular to Gottlieb Gas Station will experience water service interruption while contractor Island Roads Corporation ties in a 6-inch water line to the 8-inch main on the Harwood Highway for the content for the Content Midtown Rehabilitation Project. The project is funded by an EPA grant which was awarded for $1.3 million to improve water quality and system pressure in the Content area. Approximately 200 customers will experience improved water quality once this rehabilitation is complete. Senator Kenneth Gittens is asking members of the community to join him in paying tribute to the nation's educators and specifically to our teachers across the territory. The United States began observing National Teacher Appreciation Week more than 35 years ago. The observance began from May 2nd through May 6th, but today, May 3rd, was recognized as National Teacher Appreciation Day. He said teachers are among some of the most influential people to come in contact with our children. We have to remember they are the future of the islands, and it is more of an obligation than an option to show them support and appreciation. Big congrats to Ryan Patrick McCormick of St. Croix. He has earned the highest advancement award the Boy Scouts of America offers to Scouts, the Eagle Scout Award. He will be recognized at a ceremony on Saturday, May 7th at 3 p.m. at the Howard M. Wall Boy Scout Camp. Ryan is the first Scout this year to attain this high honor in the Virgin Islands. And to attain this rank, the candidate must earn 21 merit badges. The Scout must also successfully complete a community-related service project. Now, he assisted the Avian Sanctuary on St. Croix and constructed a large cage to replace a much smaller one that was in poor condition. Ryan, a senior at the Good Hope Country Day School, is the son of Bill and Ramona McCormack. Congratulations to him. Well, over 300 athletes took control of the waters and roads on St. Croix Sunday morning for the 28th annual Ironman 7.3 triathlon. There were no professionals in the field this year, making the triathlon an age group race. Saturday's rain and wind moved debris onto portions of the course, which consisted of a 1.2-mile swim, a 56-mile bike ride, and 13.1-mile run. And Sunday's pre-dawn rain kept some spectators at home. Two-time winner Frankie Fava of Martinique overcame a 2-minute deficit at the start of his run into an 8-minute lead and was the overall winner with a time of 4 hours, 43 minutes, and 14 seconds. While newcomer Maria Hodges from the Philippines took home top honors for the women at 5 hours, 15 minutes, and 58 seconds.
I did a good swim for me because I'm not a good swimmer. So I go out 5 or 6, so it's really good for me. After on the bike, I had a good feeling, but the guy on the front was really fast, so I couldn't catch him. And after the bike part, I had 3 minutes. I was 3 minutes behind. I start really fast my run, and at the middle of the lap, I catch him. And after that was okay. My feeling was good. My game was good. So.
Well, congratulations to all the athletes. We'll turn our attention to some other news. Last year, we reported about the end of an illegal injection case that resulted in the death of St. Croix native Karima Gordon. Tracy Lynn Garner of Jackson, Mississippi, you may remember, was sentenced in Hinds County Circuit Court. She was convicted of depraved heart murder and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Garner was charged in the death of St. Croix native Karima Gordon. Natasha Stewart, pictured there, was also convicted of manslaughter earlier in Karima's death and sentenced to 7 years. The family of Karima has been working on healing and closure. Cindy Frontal, Karima's sister, has used the opportunity to start the Karima Gordon Foundation. Cindy, along with her sister Khadijah Gordon Rivera, were featured on a special show on CNBC's show, and they talked about how the program that they're now holding helps young women who turn to plastic surgeries and more.
Since my sister died, my family and I have started the Karima Gordon Foundation. And the main purpose of that foundation is to bring awareness to what is happening with butt injections, and basically to let women know that they can die. They can really die.
It was after this happened to my sister, we began to do our research and we began to learn a lot more. And there are a lot of women out there that are doing this and they don't know the dangers that they're putting themselves in. And we hope to educate people through seminars and workshops and scholarships and things of that nature. And to also motivate women and girls to develop higher self-esteem and to appreciate the beauty that is them and not seek it elsewhere.
I want Karima to be remembered as a determined person. I want her to be remembered as a beautiful woman who made the wrong choice that caused her life. However, I want her foundation her to be remembered through her foundation as someone that always wanted to help people.
Now, of course, plastic surgery is not all bad news, but you should always search for a board-certified surgeon. You should also determine if the procedure you seek is just for cosmetic purposes or considered reconstructive. Now, the difference is directly related to insurance and also to determine if you are a candidate. Here is more on two of the most popular breast reconstructive plastic surgeries.
After a mastectomy, there are a lot of different options for breast reconstruction. You can use the patient's own tissue, sometimes tissue from the abdomen or the back, or you can use implant-based reconstruction. So a lot of options to talk about there too as far as breast reconstruction.
Breast reconstruction after a mastectomy. It's an option Dr. Polanyi says many cancer patients are not aware of.
Okay. So if somebody doesn't have enough of their own tissue, then they may be a candidate for an implant-based reconstruction. But nowadays we have so many great options as far as the different types of implants that are available that we can really create a very natural looking breast after mastectomy.
Breast reconstruction is a type of surgery for women who have had all or part of a breast removed. The surgery rebuilds the breast mound to match the size and shape of the other breast. The nipple and the darker area around the nipple, the areola, can also be added. There are more than one option. The doctor says most women who have had a breast removed, mastectomy, are able to have breast reconstruction.
And I do a lot of revision breast reconstruction, but after maybe somebody had a cosmetic surgery, but you have to do a revision.
Dr. Polanyi said another surgery that has become quite popular is breast reduction.
And I actually wrote a little book about it. So breast reduction is one of the procedures that my patients are most satisfied with, because even if you're in a bit of pain after surgery, the weight is gone. And it's amazing how taking that weight off of your shoulders can make a dramatic change in your life. And sometimes we're talking about removing 1, 2, up to 5 pounds of breast tissue per side.
And here is the good news. Dr. Polanyi is in the VI.
We're bringing the services here to the island so that, everything can be done here. And that's one of the things that prompted us to come. We would come to St. Thomas and St. John for vacation all the time, and then we kind of realized as we got to meet people and see what's available, we realized that there are a lot of things that we could offer. Because a lot of people tell me that it's so inconvenient to go off island, they don't know anybody, they have to stay at a hotel. And so to be able to offer that here, I think is key.
Now, the Williams Center of New York City Plastic Surgery Group, in which Dr. Polanese is part of, they unveiled their St. Thomas-based practice last month. The board-certified surgeons now have set up shop in the VI, and they operate out of the Comprehensive Orthopedic Global Office in the Foothills building here in St. Thomas. In other health news, Commissioner nominee Michelle Davis suspended all services at the Charles Howard Memorial Medical Facility in Christiansted around midday today. She said crews were working to rectify an electrical issue at the Charles Howard Clinic. Therefore, there was no power to the facility. She said to be sure to stay tuned for any updates regarding when the clinic will reopen. The territory has confirmed 5 new Zika cases. There are now a total of 21 confirmed Zika cases in the USVI, with the first case being confirmed in St. John, 15 cases remaining in St. Croix, and 5 on St. Thomas. 2 of the 5 new cases are pregnant women, according to Commissioner nominee Dr. Michelle Davis. The continued increases in Zika cases in the USVI are concerning, especially for pregnant women, women of childbearing age, and their partners, and that it is important for pregnant women to take advantage of the services such as testing and free kits offered by the Department of Health to prevent infection. Be sure to stick around. Your News 2 AccuWeather forecast is coming up next.